Hi, Chelsea Franklin, head of the Franklin team. I posed a question on my Instagram stories on what questions y'all have on real estate properties, and the number one thing that popped up multiple times was investment property. So, which is my favorite part. I own almost 30 units now. Um, and the first question is, how do you determine what's a good investment property? So I think if you're just starting out becoming an investor, and you don't own anything yet, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac rule is that you can put 10 homes on the secondary market, which means that you can take advantage of 30-year notes. The benefit of putting something on a 30-year note is you've got a lower mortgage payment, which will help you generate more money in cash flow. And cash flow, I think, is the number one thing that you should look at when determining if a property is a good investment or not. How you calculate cash flow very generally is you've got your expenses and your income, and how far in the black are you? After all is said and done, how much far in the black are you but each month? In the long term, you can do some cool things with your CPA. So make sure you've got someone who has a lot of experience with real estate investing, because they can help save you in the long term. But you can claim depreciation on your taxes, and that is the government's way of recognizing that you own more than one property. So you own more than just a primary residence, and you own investment properties, and they know to keep a house from deteriorating, you need to put money into it. I mean, obviously you've got all these fixer-uppers and flippers who look for the people who have let their properties just go down the shitter, but it's a general rule of thumb. Home ownership requires maintenance over time. So the government recognizes that you're going to update windows and roofs and sewer lines eventually, and cosmetic updates. So you get to claim those depreciation on your taxes. Now, when it comes time to sell the property, make sure you're talking to your CPA about 1031 exchanges, and what you can do to avoid paying that money back. But you will ultimately have to pay the claim depreciation back if you sell the home. But it does keep more money in your pocket if you're planning to keep the property long term. Also, real estate over time appreciates. I mean, the best time to buy real estate was probably 5 years ago, but some of us weren't in the position to do that 5 years ago, so we're playing catch up. So spending time in the market so you can take advantage of appreciating markets is a wonderful thing. Um, my Colorado properties, I own stuff in Oklahoma and Colorado because I'm licensed in both. So if you have questions on either state, um, let me know. My husband also owns a law firm based in both states, so he has a wealth of knowledge, which is very valuable to you. So if you work with me, you work with him. So it's a win-win with the Franklin team. But anyway, we would love to be a resource for you. Certain states obviously appreciate faster than others. Colorado's been a wonderful place for us to put money. Oklahoma generates more cash flow just because properties are still really cheap there. So, but in general, how we look for things is based off how much money you are generating in revenue. Also, general rule of thumb, another question was, how much do you have to put down? 20%. That's general. Sometimes you can get away with 15, sometimes it's more like 25, depending on what class a property sits in. But you need to put 20% into an acquisition. So of course we can dive into a lot more numbers than that, but in general, 20% upfront. So why do I like investing in real estate? Because it's tangible. It's an area that I've become a real expert in. I help 50 to 60 clients a year buy or sell properties. I said I already own almost 30, and I flip about 6 homes a year. And it's an area that is something tangible that I have direct control over. So, not that I'm a complete control freak, but I don't really like putting money where I don't know where it's being spent. And real estate is something that I understand. And if you make the correct calculations and make calculated risks, then over time, um, it's been doing some wonderful things for my family. So I would love for it to do wonderful things for you. Reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch.